So I'm titling this one, Check the Car Fax, right? So I want to say that when starting, or I can at least speak for myself, when I started my spiritual journey, when you're someone and you're starting to like recognize certain synchronicities, like, and you're starting to realize, and when you go back and you think about your life and past experiences and different things that have happened, and you start putting it all together, not only is it like super amazing, but then at the same time, it opens the door for more questions. Like, the more you start to learn, the more you start to grasp, the more you start to put things together, ultimately, the more questions you have, right? So spirit, and I know my spirit team especially, tells me, I need to do, work more on my spiritual practices, right? I need to go to my guides and to my ancestors more. And I'm hearing like, go within more for the answers, right? Seeking external validation in the beginning of your spiritual journey is very helpful. It's very beneficial. But as you learn and grow and progress, and especially for those, once you realize spiritually who you are, or once you start, because there are so many layers, you can actually be several different things all rolled up into one, because especially for those who have been around and reincarnated for many lifetimes, right? So as you start to uncover who you truly are, and as you're digging deeper, and like definitely for those of us who are trying to go as far back to the beginning as possible, as you learn more about who you are spiritually, who your higher self is spiritually, and what your true purpose is spiritually, continuing to go for all of these spiritual readings actually can work for your detriment, right? So spirit is like, check the Car Fax. I'm hearing like that. Ooh, stop biting me. I'm hearing the third time is the charm, but not necessarily in a good way, right? So when you're going to these practitioners, when you're going to these readers, right? Initially, when you go and you're in your beginning stages, you tend to, the less you know, almost like the better in the beginning. When you're working with others, the less you know, the better. So when you're first starting your journey, and when you're going and you're getting readings, these people are pulling on your energy, and they may be able to get inside a little bit. They may be able to kind of pull from you a little bit to get certain details and aspects, but they're not going to be able to get the bigger picture. Like I'm hearing like they're not going to be able to get anything about you before you get it. You know what I mean? So certain things are going to be hidden initially, right? But here's the thing, like, as you continue to go back, I really want you to pay attention to your, not only the reader's mannerisms and how things change, and how I'm sorry, my cat's trying to get outside, and he's not going outside this late at night. It's literally the middle of the night. We're not doing that. But as you start to learn more, make sure you pay attention to how these readings are going, because as you learn more, and as you figure out who you are, and as your gifts start developing, and you start opening yourself up, and you start practicing and taking on these gifts and trying to, I'm hearing like, develop them, right? There's a lot of excitement, which may cause you to actually overtalk. So as you're going back to these, because there are going to be certain things about you, especially for those, like the one that I saw, I did a video about, is he really knocking on the door? Like, I'm not letting you outside. Stop. So I did a video the other day or yesterday about, a divine masculine that's caught in like a a third party. And I know that for some people those titles can be off-putting, but in that video I do talk about a specific divine feminine who is like extremely powerful, extremely gifted, right? And this divine masculine in that story actually is very powerful and gifted himself. He just has not tapped into that because he has so much going on in the 3D that he needs to clear out. But can I say that if that divine masculine and that divine feminine find their way back together, that particular divine masculine is very powerful and gifted himself. He just has himself entangled in too much in the 3D to even start, tapping into the spiritual. But nonetheless, like as we learn more, and when you're getting excited, you tend to like overshare, right? So I remember being told, and this is like something because I overshared it, I don't even mention it. Well, I mention it, but I don't even say who it is anymore. So I was told who my higher self was in a dream, right? I was told, actually, I was shown first, but I didn't really understand. Like I knew in the dream what I was looking at myself. I had a dream where I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I see who I am, but I'm like trying to figure out, like, how is that possible that I'm this being? Like, how is that possible, right? This is before I even knew about, certain beings in higher level entities and deities reincarnating and coming back. I didn't know about this at the time. So I'm like, why in the dream am I dressed, or why am I this person? I didn't really understand it, right? So as I'm learning and I'm doing more research and I'm watching more content and buying books and stuff, and I ended up doing a reading of it. Well, first of all, then I had a second dream where I was told, where I was surrounded by these group of very, very, very powerful beings. And I'm sitting there and there's like this council meeting going on. And I'm like, okay, I know who all of you are, but like what respectfully so, like what do you want from me? Like what can I do for you? Like, why am I here? And then they told me, they were like, you don't know who you are? And I'm like, I don't even know why I'm here right now. And they were like, because you are. And it confirmed the dream that I had, right? Or the previous dream that I had. So I remember, going back and getting a reading from this person and being so excited when I found out that I told this person. So are you serious? Are you serious? Stop that. I remember, let me make sure he didn't break. Okay, no. I remember going back and because I was so excited about this information that I found out, I remember going back and getting another reading, and like this person that I was working with at the time, the first reading that I got for them was so sweet. It was so innocent. It was so encouraging. They were like telling me things I could do, that I could grow and I could, develop my spiritual gifts. Like they did tell me that they saw that I was spiritually gifted, and they were telling me what things I could do. No, baby, we're not going outside. It's midnight. No. So, and they were telling me what things that I could do to develop. I'm so sorry, y'all, to develop my spiritual gifts. And they were like, and I remember in that first reading, them telling me, they were like, there's something here, but I can't see it. And they were like, I think maybe I can't see it because you don't know what it is yet. So they were like, there's something here, but I can't see it. And this person, I didn't realize at the time, was, trying to access it. But if they can't see it, it's because it was blocked for a reason. But like I said, like I didn't realize this at the time. So then I'm having these dreams, things are being revealed to me, and foolish me, because I put so much trust into this person, because literally every time I was having readings from, like, I'm not saying like it was all good. Like there were things that they were honest with me that I needed to work on. And quite frankly, I love the honesty, right? So they were, I had such a positive experience that when I found out who I was spiritually, I went and I shared it with this person, right? I got another reading and I'm sitting there, and now that I go back and I think, I realize that the second and third reading that I had with this person really wasn't a reading. It was really me oversharing what I was learning and them just confirming it. And I'm hearing spirit is like they were even pretending to confirm it, because why would you need confirmation on something that we told you? Like, really? Like, and I could see my ancestors, giving me like that one eyebrow raised, like, girl, get your life together, right? Why do you need someone else to confirm something that we told you? Like, get your entire life together. So this person was confirming it, and this like broke my heart, y'all. But a couple of months went by, and I ended up having a dream where this person I was remote viewing. And this was actually one of the gifts, because I remember in the first reading I told this person, I said, I'm having dreams where I'm like watching people do things, but I'm not there. I'm just watching it happen, but I'm not, like, some dreams I'm like a part of the dream. I'm physically there interacting, and other dreams I'm just watching. It's like I'm like this presence that's there just observing. And that's when that person explains to me that's called remote viewing. And she said it's another thing that she told me I had was also dream walking, right? And something else too, but that's not really important at this moment. But I remember where I had a dream a couple months after I revealed to this person who I was, where I was remote viewing, and y'all, I cannot make this up. This person was dressed as me, but not me, myself and I. This person was dressed as my higher self, and I saw this person. I'm about to put this cat in my room so he can calm down. This person was dressed as my higher self. And the crazy thing about it is I don't even know like how they saw this, or how this happened, but the outfit that they were wearing was very, very, very similar. Not the exact same, but was very similar to the outfit that I was wearing when I had the first dream where I was shown who I was before it was confirmed. And like I said, in the dream where I was shown who I was, I looked in the mirror and saw myself. And this person was literally dressed as my higher self, dancing around in the mirror. And that's when I realized, and then I had another subsequent dream where this person was also trying to break into my house, which, if you have a dream of someone breaking into your house, that could represent them trying to break into your aura, your energy, them spiritually trying to, gain access to your energy. So I'm sitting here and I'm just kind of like bewildered. And when I tell y'all, I already have trust issues because of certain things that have happened in relationships, and like certain things that have happened with my very own family. But like when I first entered the spiritual community, I'm like, this is supposed to be a community of love and light. And I'm not so ignorant to know that there aren't people who do negative spell work. I'm not that ignorant, but I'm like, I'm thinking, that the person that I'm working with, and the person that I'm like being so open and vulnerable to, is someone of love and light. And meanwhile, the whole time, like, you're not. And Spirit was like, you have to understand, right? Spirit was like, check the Car Fax. Spirit was like, you have to understand, like, first of all, when you're following certain people online, because there were even other readers, because when I first started my journey, I got very engrossed in like a lot of tarot. I became, I don't even want to say obsessed, but like almost obsessed with like watching all these tarot. And Spirit was like, pay attention to what they're saying and certain things that they're saying, and it will give you clues. She was like, especially some of these people who are tarot readers, if they're coming off as like spiritual narcissists, like make sure you're watching out for certain things like that. Like pay attention. Like, again, check the Car Fax, And Spirit is like, just be mindful. Be mindful. Look past what this person is saying and look more into their energy, right? So needless to say, like, when it comes to spirituality, it really only takes you getting burned once before it really kind of just causes you to put your guard and your walls up. So I've, even now, when I have people reach out to me offering to like help and, do things for me, I tend to be like very weary of it, because I just spiritually, if you come across the wrong person, they can really, really, really mess you up. So it really causes me to like put a wall up, right? But nonetheless, the bigger lesson that I had to learn and that I want to share is basically stop oversharing. You know what I mean? Stop oversharing. When you are going to get these readings, first of all, when you're going to get a reading, you should pretty much have specific questions and things that you want. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of guide the reading a little bit. Like, there should already be a specific topic that you want to talk about or go into depth into, so that this person is just not like blindly steering, through your aura, right? So you should be really leading the reading anyways, right? But stop oversharing. You know what I mean? Do not, it's okay for them to say something and you to be like, oh man, that's confirmation. Like, if they say something that's right and if they're on point, definitely tell them, oh yeah, that's confirmation. But do not volunteer information that they have not told you, because there are going to be certain things, especially like, I remember having this conversation with my brother, and now it sounds like a bit of a ignorant question, but at the time I didn't really understand. And I was like, I said, with the angels and everything, I said, is there a hierarchy? And my brother was like, of course there is. Of course there's a hierarchy. And he was like, you know what I mean? And even in the 3D, like, there are a lot of spiritually gifted people, you know what I mean? And when I say a lot, I mean a lot relative in number. Like, to me, like 1,000 is a lot, right? But in terms of the entire population, it's actually pretty small. But still, my brother was like, there is a hierarchy. So you may, because you're so early in your spiritual journey, you may be actually going to get readings and advice from someone that you outrank. You know what I mean? So there is going to be certain information that this person is not going to be privy to, but because of your oversharing, you're giving them information that spirit was like, we didn't give them access to that. You told them, right? And that can spark jealousy. And I'm not saying that like all tarot readers or all, practitioners are jealous. There are some very, very, very beautiful people out there. First of all, there are some people out there who understand the hierarchy and who know that, oh man, this person is very powerful. This person is highly ranked. Let me get and stay on their good side, and let me help this high-ranking individual on their spiritual journey, develop on their spiritual journey, because ultimately it's going to be, I'm hearing racks on racks on racks. It's going to be blessings, like big, big blessings coming through for you if you are helping someone highly ranked on their spiritual journey, right? It's blessings for you. But you do have those people who are going to see that and who are it's going to spark jealousy, and not even always jealousy. Sometimes it can just be greed. Those people who are like, oh man, this person is hot. This person, like, you'll have people who will tap in and who'll see like, oh, you have like money coming in. You have a big financial blessing, money coming in. Like, oh, like they might want to try to intercede to see if they can take that for themselves. You know what I mean? So like it's always weird to me. Like, I used to have this thing where I used to like play the lottery, because this is like years ago. And I used to always have these dreams where I would like win the lottery, and it would be like a lot of money. And I would always be so excited. And I remember telling, this just so happens to be like the individual I was talking about in the previous video, where I was like this person, I told them not to do any negative spell work, and lo and behold, they didn't listen, right? So I remember I would play the lottery because I kept having these dreams that I was going to like win this money. And I didn't realize, at that time, because I wasn't on my spiritual journey, that chasing money and getting into that obsession with the lottery was actually, I was not going to win like that, because I was in like this desperation mode. Basically I was told by my team, like, there you do have a large sum of money coming in, and just because in the dream it's the lottery doesn't mean that that's how it's going to present. We're just showing you that you do have some blessings coming in, but it's going to come. First of all, it's going to come, when it's time, when the time is right, and there it may come through a different avenue, right? But I remember I was like, I'm going to stop playing. I'm going to I'm going to get out of that energy. I stopped playing. So I've stopped playing, right? And I was like, when the time feels right and when I get this inclination and I'm like, okay, now's the time to play, I'll play then. But until then, I'm going to stop playing. So I get myself out of this desperate energy, right? But I remember that same person who I, talked about previously was like, oh, I'm going to go play the lottery, and something told me to call you and to ask you for the numbers. Like, what? Excuse me? Like, what? And like I said, like at the time, I didn't really think anything about it. But then like as things start coming through later, I'm starting to realize like, oh, okay, like you ultimately, and I don't even know if this person realizes they were doing it, but then, I tend to like to give people the benefit of the doubt. But I'm like, okay, like something spirit told you to contact me to give you like if spirit told you, oh, you need to go out and play the lottery, like Lady Luck is on your side tonight, go out and play, then that's a message they gave you. Why would they tell you to contact me for the numbers? Why would they not give you the numbers? Like, what are you talking about? And I remember telling this person, like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm taking a break from that. I'm not really doing the gambling, because lottery really, it's a form of gambling, although we don't think about it like that because it's not betting. It is a form of gambling. So I told this person like, oh, I don't do that anymore. So I'm sorry. They're like, oh, well, no, you don't have to play. Just like, give me the numbers. And I was like, no, I don't do that anymore. I'm sorry. No. And coincidentally enough, the call ended up hanging up. Like, I don't know if they hung up or if it was something with my phone or what, but the call ended up disconnecting, which is for the better anyways. But sometimes people will do things and it will be out of greed. You know what I mean? When people see that you got blessings and you have good things coming in, and not only that, people are energy vampires. Like if you they say like if you go, like even if you're listening to this or you've listened to any of my videos, I put in my description, take what resonates and leave the rest. And I'm saying that now, and maybe I need to come up with an intro for my video where I make sure I say that in the intro of every video, like take what resonates and leave the rest. Anytime you're watching, and especially for my powerful, like my highly ranked divine masculines and feminines, anytime you're listening to a tarot reader and they're doing general readings for the public, this is not like something personal and private, this is a general reading for the public, and everything that they're saying resonates with you, and everything that they're saying matches what you're going through and matches your situation, there's a good chance, and I'm not saying that, this is what they're doing, because typically a lot of the collective tend to have similar experiences. Now, everyone's experiences are not going to be the exact same. Even if you're in a third party, even if you've had, which a lot of the collective have had relationship issues, even if you have children, if you don't have children, if your twin flame who's not twin flaming like they're supposed to be has children, or no matter what, there may be some similarities, because like I said, a lot of the collective struggle when it comes to relationships, so there's going to be some similarities. But if they're doing a collective reading, the collective should not be going through exactly what you're going through. Like, that's not how that works. You know what I mean? That's not how that works. So anytime you're following someone and you're noticing that like every single reading it's like what song was that? Where she's like, it's like he found my letters and read each one out loud. I'm strumming my pain with his fingers, singing my life with his words, and telling my story with his song. But anyways, that's like the energy that I'm getting, right? If every reading this person is doing is just like matches your situation to a T, then this person is probably a vampiric energy, and they are probably tapping and they're probably siphoning off your energy in order to do the readings. They're able to tap in, and they're doing these readings, and they are increasing their psychic abilities because they are siphoning off of you, right? So just be careful with that, right? Just be careful of that. Be mindful of that, right? So check the Car Fax. That's all I'm saying. And like I said, it really, at a certain point in your journey, you need to go within. You know what I mean? At a certain point in your journey, you shouldn't be like, tarot is very entertaining. Very, very, very entertaining. And with me doing these videos and me, you know what I mean, trying to, build my channel and do spiritual content, it's almost like I'm working against myself. But I'd rather be honest than anything else. And you, at a certain point in your journey, you really need to go within. You shouldn't be getting reading after reading after reading after reading after reading in order to get validation. Like, stop looking for external validation. Stop looking for external validation. Go within. Now, if you're at that point in your journey where you're still having trouble with getting the signs and getting the messages and getting the downloads, then in that case, there's nothing wrong with going to get a reading. But just make sure you're not oversharing. You know what I mean? If the reader is giving you information that resonates, you can confirm what they tell you, but make sure you're not oversharing. Because I'm hearing like the third time is the charm. Because you go once, you go back, and then by that third time, as you are continuing to grow and learn more, and they're starting to see like, oh wait, there's more than meets the eye. They're like, oh wait, like this is the third session I've done with this person. There's more that meets the eye. There are things here that I didn't see the first time or the first two times that I did this person's reading, right? And things could change. Things could change. This person could go from wanting to help you to now they're wanting to steal from you, right? And like I said, that's not everybody. That's not everybody, but it happens. It happens. And even, I'll even go, is that the train? Confirmation. Anyways, no, I'm just playing, but it happens. So make sure that you learn how to go within. You know what I mean? As you're starting to get to that point where you're getting downloads and you're getting the confirmation, there's no need for you to go to anyone else to seek external validation. And if you do decide that, oh, I have a specific question, especially if it's something different, you know what I mean? Like, different readers can tap in and have different gifts. Like if you're wanting to do like an ancestral reading, or if you're wanting to do like a starseed reading, like it's okay to go to different readers. As some people will say, be careful about, going to all these different readers. And that's true too. I wouldn't say, have like 10, 15, 20 different people tapping in your energy. Definitely not. But different readers have different skills and can tap into different energies. So maybe like if you want confirmation, just kind of diversify. Like, don't keep going to the same reader, asking the same questions, getting the same information. Like, go to a reader who has abilities to tap into something different and get a different, perspective, get different information, try to grow in other areas, right? And then see, as you're getting these different readings, see if the readings are coinciding. See, is this person telling me something different than one? And of course, like if they're doing a different reading and coming from a different perspective, it's not going to be the exact same. But just, learn to grow and kind of like diversify in other areas, right? Don't keep going to the same person over and over again, getting the same reading. Now, it's different if this person is a spiritual mentor. If this person is a spiritual mentor, that's different. But even with that, make sure you're checking the Car Fax, right? Make sure you are checking the Car Fax. For me, anyone who is overly aggressive, for me, it just kind of, it makes me feel like, like when you go and you buy a car and you get there and the salespeople are just overly aggressive. And for a lot of people, that tends to be how they make their sales. They kind of overwhelm you. And I feel sorry for people who are like really, really, really timid, because they tend to overwhelm you and you tend to buy something and then leave and may even end up regretting the purchase because it wasn't even what you wanted. I remember my sister went to this jewelry store one time. Her husband brought her this ring, and it was cute, but she was like, she didn't really like it. So she went to see if they could exchange it for something different that she may like. And she found a different ring. And the ring that she wanted was actually a little bit cheaper, but the salesperson kept trying to talk her into keeping the one that she had, primarily because the salesperson gets commission, and they wanted the commission on the more expensive ring versus the cheaper one. And so like they went back and forth for a little while, and my sister ended up leaving with the more expensive ring. And then she ended up calling me the next day and being like, I don't really like it. And she's like, I didn't really want it. And I said, you should have had me go up there with you, because I'm not sitting here and I'm not playing. You know, back in the day, I had a thing where I didn't speak up for myself nearly as much as I should have. But like today, we're not doing that. Like I'm not going to sit here and go back and forth with you. I don't want this. I said I don't want it. Like, please don't make me be the angry black woman in this jewelry store. Let's not do there. Let's be two professional, well-spoken women, and let's just make this transaction. Like, I don't want this. And I'm not going to argue with you. I don't care about the qualities. I'm not going to sit here and listen to you talk about the carats and all, and the beauty and the significance. I'm just going to cut you off like, ma'am, like, look, let's not waste each other's time. You can either give me the ring that I want, or you can refund me, and you can walk away with nothing. Those are your only two options. Give me what I want, or you can get nothing. So what are we going to do from here? And I really hate that, because my sister, she doesn't even wear the ring because she doesn't really like it. And it's like, that's the energy that of just overly pushy salespeople. That's why it's like, it's so hard for me. I remember when I had to buy my car, someone rear-ended me, and my car that I absolutely loved ended up getting totaled. Well, actually, the damage wasn't even that bad, but because it was a Honda Civic, and because I had the car for so long, the insurance company was like, look, the cost of the damage is going to be more than what that car is worth at this point. Like, it's time to give it up. So reluctantly, I gave it up. And they went ahead and paid me, the money for what the car was worth. And I took that, and then I went and got a new car. And I had to go to like a couple of different dealerships, because as soon as you start looking around, it's like they come running to you like moths to a flame. And even if you try to tell them like, oh, I'm just looking, they'll just follow you. And every car you look at, they want to stop and give you details. So then I had to just walk away. I remember this person was like, hey, like, where are you going? And I'm like, look, with all due respect, I just came to look around. I know you're trying to do your job. I know you get commission. I understand that. But right now you are overwhelming me, and you are making me feel so uncomfortable. So with all due respect, I'm going to go somewhere else. Have a nice day. And I had to do that a couple of times until I finally got to one where I walked out, and they were like, you know what? They said, it's fine. Take your time, look around. And when you find something you're interested in, come and find me. And I was like, all right, cool. So anytime I come across people who are overly pushy, immediately I'm like, okay, I have to back up. Now, I say that to say this. I came across this one particular practitioner where they were like, oh, like, there are these ceremonies that you need to get done that would be very beneficial to you. And they were actually things that I was interested in. Like, I was trying to learn about, giving offerings to the ancestors and doing stuff like that when I was so new in my journey, and I wanted to know like the proper way to do it. So I wanted to go get a ceremony done where someone could do the initial offering for me and teach me how to properly do that. And I remember them being like, oh, it's going to be this much. And I was like, whoa, like, but why? And they were like, oh, because we have to buy the food and buy this and that and all that. And I remember thinking, like, I have to pay you that much money for you to serve my ancestors a piece of chicken? Like, what? Like, I understand that part of that is your fee for you doing the work. But we're talking like thousands of dollars here. And I'm like, I got to pay thousands of dollars for you to put a piece of chicken on a plate to give to my ancestors? Like, I'm almost pretty sure I could just do that myself. So I ended up in the beginning of my journey winging it, but it's okay. It's okay, because my ancestors love me. They have been accepting my offerings, and they have been thankful for it, and they have come through for me really heavily for it, right? But I remember like being like, I don't know if I can do that. And I remember just telling them, like, instead of being like, I can't do it, I was like, well, let me think about it for a while. I'm going to have to save up to do that. In my mind, I'm like, absolutely not. But I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to save up to do that. Next thing I know, this person's like, oh, well, we can do it for you for this price. And then they like drastically cut the price down. And I was like, that's interesting. Like, why? You know what I mean? Like, why? You just met me. Why are you willing to all of a sudden give me this huge discount? Like, why? And then I was like, well, I still don't know. I said, let me kind of like do some more research. And then like, oh, well, what about if we do it for this? And then like, at a point, like the energy went almost to like angry a little bit. Like she was like, well, oh, I'm giving you this huge discount. I'm doing this favor for you. You know what I mean? This is work that I'm doing for you, and I'm doing it at a cheap price. And you're this, and I'm like, wait a minute, like, hold on. Like it gave me like, and I was like, you know what? And I haven't contacted that person since, because I was like, hold on, like, you know what I mean? The energy was just giving me like, no, like, how did we get, like, why? First of all, why are you angry? Why are you angry? You know what I mean? Like, I understand that your prices are what they are. And I'm not trying to tell anyone to restructure your prices. If you're someone who you've been in the spiritual game and you've been doing this and offering these services for years and you are top notch at what you do, like, your time is money. You know what I mean? Like I said, my time is valuable. My time is valuable. Time is money. So I'm not trying to tell you to cut your price. I'm just saying, like, at this point in my life, it's not in my budget. You know what I mean? So I was like, I'm not trying to tell you to cut your price. I never asked you for the discount. I said, let me, think about it for a little while. Let me work some things out. I never asked you for the discount. You offered it twice. And now you're upset because I don't understand. Like, my spiritual journey, your spiritual journey is yours. You know what I mean? Like, what's the rush? What's the rush? When you're going through this journey, there is no rush. The only thing that's important is like consistency and intention, and heavy on the intention. You know what I mean? Make sure that whatever you're doing it with a pure heart and with good intent, because really that is what makes things, that's what adds power and like ashe to things, right? Like the intent that you're doing, like what is the reason that you're doing this? Are you just giving offerings to your ancestors because you want them to do something for you? Are you giving offerings to these deities because you want them to do something for you? And ultimately, when it comes to the deities, the answer for that is kind of like yes. But at the same time, like, do you have genuine love for these deities, or is it really just a tit for tat, like you scratch my back, I scratch your back kind of thing? Or do you have genuine love for these deities? Because remember that just because you give offerings, they have the right to reject them. And if your heart's not pure, they are going to reject them anyways, So intent is important. But I just remember being like, no, like something about that just, it didn't. And that person could have actually been genuine, but I was like, you're getting too aggressive, and it's giving me, car salesman, and I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't even, at this point, I don't want it anymore. I don't want it. So no, thank you. Right. But anyways, I'm not going to go on about this forever. The general lesson here is to learn how to go within. Stop seeking so much external validation. And if you do decide to get spiritual readings, which are very beautiful, they are very beautiful, make sure you're not oversharing. Any information that the reader is not presenting and not revealing to you, it's because they don't have access to it. Or it could also be because they're trying to hide things from you, which within itself is dangerous as well. Because I have had readings from two different people where one reader revealed one thing and another reader didn't. So it's quite possible. And to be completely honest, I think that's why that person was trying to that's why that person was trying to masquerade themselves as me. That's why that person was trying to pretend to be me, because they had actually seen something and did not reveal what they saw to me because they wanted to take it for themselves. So that's the thing as well. So just make sure anytime when it comes to spirituality, when you're getting spiritual readings, when you're working with spiritual mentors, spiritual practitioners, just make sure you are not oversharing. You know what I mean? And then just make sure that you are spiritually protecting yourself. And above all, make sure you check the Car Fax with your ancestors, with your spirit guides, with the deities that are coming to you in your dreams. Ask your ancestors, ask your guides, ask these deities. If you don't know how to do it yourself, ask your team to check the Car Fax for you. And then when things start happening and being revealed to you in your dreams, that is basically your team giving you that spiritual report. Thank you for listening. Bye.